Hi everyone, Jill Lancet, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. How are you? It's December 2021 and at the moment we have the last chance product sale, and that's in my online store at jilllancet.stampinup.net, jilllancet.stampinup.net, beg your pardon. Now the current host code is this series of letters here. That will go through right through to the end of December. If you want to look for the last chance products, look for this banner in my inline store and just click on it. It'll take you directly to that. There's also a clearance rack. You can look through that as well. There's some good bargains to be had there. Those things are only until stocks last, as is this last chance products sale. Stock up on your favourite products before they're gone, and some have already gone. So if there's anything in particular you want, get in quick, because when they're gone, they're gone. Okay, that's the business side of that. Today we're going to make a cute little card. It's a very quick little card. And it's very simple, and it uses minimal supplies, and it's I'm calling it You're in My Thoughts, and there is a bit of a sneaky peek to a stamp set that's in the new catalogue as well. It's this little butterfly stamp here. It's really cute. So I'll just go through the supplies that we need. We're using three stamp sets altogether. I'll just pop all this stuff over here. So we're using this big flower from the Artistically Inked, it's very hard to say, Artistically Inked stamp set. That is in the current catalogue. I'll show you the page that's on. Artistically Inked. That's this page here, page 97. There are dies that coordinate with that. Hope you can see that. Yep. So that's one stamp set. We're using this big flower here, and it looks like a watercolour, or yeah, it looks like a watercolour. We're also using, again, I used in another video the other day, these little scalloped contour dies. I'm really liking those at the moment, so yeah, we're going to be using those. We're going to be using some Coastal Cabana cardstock, some Blackberry Bliss, and some basic white. So that's the big flower stamp from that. We're going to use the small message here, You're in My Thoughts, from the In the Moment stamp set. And we're going to use this. You probably haven't seen it before. It's called Amazing Silhouettes, and it's from the new January to July mini catalogue that's coming out, as is In the Moment, this stamp set. And I can't show you inside, I can only show you the cover. So that'll be out soon. You'll be able to see that in my inline store in January. So let's get to it. So we're going to need, we've got a few things happening in this stamp, a couple of techniques. This is with basic white, and I'm going to change it up slightly. I'm going to put it on a Blackberry Bliss card base. You can decide which version you prefer. So the first thing we're going to do is our butterfly. We're going to fussy cut that. I'll get to these other pieces as we get along. Now in this new stamp set, there's 3 images. As you can see, there's the little butterfly. There's this nice little bit of foliage, and there's this really long tree. And these, I think, are at 100%, as in size-wise. So you can see that one's going to be really good on a card because it's going to take up a fair bit of real estate on the front of the card. So that's good. But we're using the butterfly today. And what I did was, the first thing I did was, we touched on blending in another video. And we're going to do the same thing here with our blending brush. And I'm using Coastal Cabana at the moment. That's the same colour as the cardstock. And I'm just going to get that a bit inky. And I'll just get some scrap paper, put underneath here. So basically just dab off and very, very gently just go in a circular motion and stay towards the centre of the card. You might want it a bit darker in the centre. But as you can see, that's coming on all right. That's one dip in the ink. And I mean, it's not necessary that we fade out. We don't have to fade out if you don't want to. But you might want it a little bit darker in the centre. So just go over that. You can put layers on this, but you can't take layers off. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And we're going to ink our stamp up. It's got a bit of schmutz on it, which will affect the way it stamps. Okay, now I want to try and concentrate in the butterfly to have that colour there. So if I can get the ink pad open. There we go. So now these are what is known as distinctive stamps. And they kind of look a bit like newsprint, the way newsprint is like pixelated. But you don't want to smush this ink pad into there and obliterate all of that texture. You just want to do it lightly. And I think about there. I hope I'm in screen. I think you've realised by now I'm not very good at keeping things in camera. But I'm doing my best. Okay, so I'm just pressing down reasonably lightly, but I want to leave it there for just a couple of seconds so that the ink absorbs into the paper. And there we go. So it's meant to be like an abstract splosh of colour, and I'm just going with splosh because that's the technical term I'm using today. So that's our Blackberry Bliss ink. It's a beautiful colour. I really like that colour. So I'll just clean this stamp. We're finished with that now. This chamois just works brilliantly. It's just got water on it and it just cleans it so well. And I'll keep that over there. So he's done. We'll give that a few minutes to dry. And I have cut out using the contour scalloped dies. And this is the larger one, the largest one. Gives a beautiful scalloped edge on that. It's almost like a doily. This one here is the third. There's one in between. So there's this one, another one, and then this one. So this is the third one in the set. and we're going to cut that out in the Blackberry Bliss. Now, I just wanted to give you a little tip on what I do when I get some coloured cardstock, and even I do this with the vanilla, the very vanilla and the basic white. So what I do is I take 2 sheets, and the first sheet I cut into quarters. So I cut it in half at 10.5 centimetres, and then I turn them and cut them, or you can do it the other way, at 14.85 centimetres. Now I'm going to show you what that is on the trimmer, because that sounds a bit complicated when you say 14.85. So this piece here, I've cut it down at 10.5. I'm not going to cut this piece because I want to keep this piece, but I just want to show you where 14.5 is. 14.85. So if you're looking over here, we've got 14. I'm using centimetres, okay? So 14, and if I go to this next longest mark, that's 14.5. Then we have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 15. So we want 14.8. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just nudge that along till you can't see the 8, but you can only see it just in front of the 9. So that'd be 14.85. Okay, and your eye actually gets used to looking for those really small measurements once you start doing it. So it's a good practice to do that, and you'll get a perfect card every time. So what I do is, this is 14.85. So I cut it either way, either 10.5, the whole sheet, and then cut the 2 sheets down to 14.85. And I keep these in a drawer. I do this with 1 sheet of every colour. I've now got basically 4 pieces that will fit a standard card size front. Now I can cut them down, do whatever I want with them. I know they're going to be at least large enough for the front of the card. But then I saw Connie Stewart do this in America. She has these flashcards, and they're really good, but American cardstock is different size to ours. So what I did was, once I'd cut 1 sheet in quarters, I'd put that in my drawer. I'd get a second piece out, cut it into quarters again, and then cut it further into eighths. So for every quarter piece, I cut in half on the long side. So I end up with these pieces. And these pieces are, if you haven't got a piece of scrap, you can pop one of these out of your drawer and you've got a piece that you know is going to be probably big enough for everything. So this white piece is the same size as this. It's an eighth of a full A4 sheet. And the actual size of it is 10.5. So we haven't altered this size. We've only altered this size. So it's 10.5 by 7.4 centimetres. And if you have 1 sheet cut into quarters, you've got 4 card fronts, and 1 sheet cut into eighths, you've got 8 pieces that you can use. So that's handy to do as well. So we've got our little butterfly here, and I'm just going to fussy cut. I just want to show you how easy it is to fussy cut things. And the trick is to turn the paper, not the scissors. So, and if you want to leave a border, that's up to you how wide you go. But it's quite easy. It's actually quite relaxing. If you absolutely hate it, you don't have to You can find a small circle or a smaller rectangle or even an oval if you've got any punches that might fit in. But fuss and cutting's not that hard. It doesn't take that long. And what I did was I cut around here to fill in, the eye fills in the imaginary edge of the wing that way. So when you get to about here, just follow where you think the wing would be. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. I hope you're seeing that. And then on the other side as well, there's another wing. And this one is a bit tricky because it goes straight up there like that. So there's no actual line there. I've just imagined that line is where the wings would finish. Okay, that's done. Beautiful. So the card front, I also changed the direction of it. Now the card base was half of an A4, and I just showed you that on the trimmer. So what I've done is I've cut the A4 in half lengthwise. So I've measured 10.5 centimetres, and I've scored it at that 14.85. Now you can use it as a tent fold card like this, but I just thought it'd be nice to change it up and make it a horizontal tent fold, for want of a better word. So the cardstock starts out at 21 centimetres, so that's this length. Cut at 10.5 and then scored at 14.85 centimetres. So we've got that. Now, as I said, this is rather a quick little card. I've cut out already a piece of coastal Cabana, and as I said, I've used the larger of the contour scalloped dies. I actually cut two because I thought we could pop one in the middle of the card as the insert. Now it's a light enough colour to write on, so we'll see how we go with that. But we're going to do some more stamping, and what we're going to do is we're going to use this big flower from the artistically inked stamp set, the one I showed you before. We're going to use this big flower here, and we're also going to use these little dots. And I just inked those up with the coastal Cabana, if you don't drop the ink pad on everything. And this is what is called tone on tone. So the same colour ink as the same colour cardstock. And again, this is a distinctive stamp set, and it gives you that newsprint sort of look. Sort of like pixelated, really. So I'll just show you there. The texture's already built into the stamp. So we really only need it around the edges, but it doesn't matter, you can do the whole one, the whole card. Go off the edge. Just go off the edge. Now, you really can't use that again, because if I stamp that again, because we went off the edge, I'll show you what we end up with. We end up with the pattern because the ink didn't come off the stamp because there was 2 layers there. So don't do that, or you'll end up with something that you really didn't want. Unless you want that. Your card, you can do that if you wish. So just turn the stamp around Just keep inking it up. Now, of course, if you had the bigger ink pad, you wouldn't have to do this. But I wanted to get a lot of colours quickly. I bought the uninked ink spots and the re-inkers. And then I was able to have lots of colours for minimal outlay. And then later on, when I want to get the bigger stamp pads, ink pads, I've already got the refills for it. So we'll put one in the middle. It doesn't matter if it overlaps in the middle, by the way. And we're going to fill up the little spots with the dotty stamp. So we're not even using any pattern paper in this stamp. So that's that one. Now we'll just use the dotty one. And you can just turn it around. You don't even have to do this, but it felt like it needed something. And you can do second generation stamping, which means stamp it once and then stamp it again for a different tone of ink. I think that's okay. Okay, so I'll just clean those stamps off. Now, the next stamping we're going to do is in the Blackberry Bliss again. And we're using this You're in My Thoughts, which is from the In the Moment, which is from the new catalogue that will be released in January. So I just popped that down in the corner. Now again, this is quite a juicy ink pad, and you'd really only want to just tap that very lightly. I mean, I'm really only tapping that lightly. And I'll show you how it stamps. It's just a very small font, and it's quite nice. Sometimes you just want a little message. You don't want it to take up the whole card and overtake whatever it is you're doing. So I put it in this little corner here. Now, bear with me because I'm kind of at an angle. I'm hoping that's going to be straight. And I literally do hold my breath when I do that. So just give that a moment to... Beautiful. And that's all the stamping. Okay. So this smaller piece, this 1/8 of an A4 piece, we're now going to cut that with the smaller die, she says, as she wonders what she did with it. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. Stop looking, I found it. So what I do is I just put a bit of this tape on there. It's just ordinary low tack sticky tape. I'm going to get the mini Stamp and Emboss machine out. You might have seen this in another video the other day, or not. And you get these plates. This one is your cutting plate. You can see it's quite scratched up, and that's okay. And then you put a top plate on, and you simply roll that through. And it's a bit tricky when the table's a bit slippery. And that's it. That's done. That's basically what I would have done with the Coastal Cabana piece. Now we have got tape on there, so just be careful. Even though it says low tack, trust nobody. Okay. So what I've done here is there's not a lot of dimension to this card. There's only one piece that's raised up with dimensionals, and that is the butterfly piece. So we're going to glue this flat to the front of the card. Okay. Now it's not exactly the same shape. And by the way, always check to make sure that you're putting it on the right way. This is the way the card's going to open. So I want my card facing that way. And you'll see there's a really nice border of the Blackberry Bliss through the Coastal Cabana. Probably not two colours you'd think to put together, but they just look so great, I thought. And the next thing we're going to do is just pop this up towards this top left-hand corner. And I glued that flat as well. If you wanted lots of dimension, of course, you could use dimensionals. But to send through the post, this is going to be a fairly... oh, I forgot to put the ribbon on. I always do something wrong, don't I? We might just change that up and put the ribbon on this one. Now, the ribbon I've used is this beautiful. Look at it. And it is from the current mini catalogue, the July to December one. And it's called Glittered Organdy Ribbon. And it's really lovely. It's got these sparkles in it. But it picks up these two colours. I wouldn't have thought. But anyway, there you go. Now, normally I would have put it around there. I can actually put it right around the card. No, I can't because it goes that way. Nope, can't do that. So that's okay. We'll just put it on here. Change of plan. There's always a change of plan in my videos. I'm calling them change of plans. They're actually mistakes, but whatever. So we want it about, okay, this is going to go up to in the top corner. So we want it sort of down a little bit. Actually, I don't even think I'll do that. I think I'll still just glue it onto there and just have it loose. I think that'll look nice. Might just trim these a bit. That'll just give it an added interest. There, look, no mistakes, just new designs. Beautiful. So what I'll do is I'll just pop some glue on here and glue it straight over the top of the ribbon. So I'll place the ribbon around about there. Now, I already measured these out, and those two are actually the centre scallops. So if I lay that there and pop this on here, it should be in the right place, technically speaking. So I'm just going to put that in there. I hope that's straight. Looks straight to me from this angle, but you never know. Okay, new design, new plan. Beautiful. Now, we're going to pop this up on some dimensionals. So just put a couple on the back. And by a couple, I mean, I probably put too many, but there you go. That's just me. These come in black as well as white. The black comes in a combo pack where you get both sizes in the one pack. So you get the mini dimensionals as well as the larger size dimensionals. Just get my take your pick tool and just pop these off. This is the quickest, neatest, tidiest way to do this. All these terrible little bits and pieces can go straight in the bin. Make sure your butterfly's up the right way. And I kind of gravitated him towards just off centre, just over towards this side just a little bit, because I want to put a bow on the other side. So when you're happy where that is, yep, that looks nice. And then I'm going to make a bow. And I make my bows, make them off the spool, generally speaking. And I do the old rabbit ears, and they turn out upside down, but that's okay because I just turn them around, and usually they make a nice bow. Now, bows can be a bit fiddly, but what isn't fiddly in life these days? So that looks okay to me. Just to mimic those ends of the ribbon, I'll just make sure I do cut those at an angle. Just fiddle with that just a little second more. Put a glue dot on it, and the glue dots are literally dots of glue. So I'll pop it on there like that. Give it a good press. Peel that off carefully. Very sticky. And I just put it around about there and give it a good press. Okay, now I loved the sparkle on the ribbon, so I thought, why not put some Wink of Stella on? If you haven't seen Wink of Stella, it's comes in this brush, and you can brush it on if you wanted to. In this one, I might actually brush it on to the wings of the butterfly, just to show you. Might just get that going a bit. Wow, look at that. I hope you can see that. Beautiful. And then I usually just put the tip of the brush in the pen lid and just flick it. Flick it all over the surface of the card. It's really easy to do. Gives a great effect. And that's our Wink of Stella. That's also available in my online store. Now, I don't know if you can see that shine. I hope you can. I'm just going to keep turning it and hope that you can see it. It's really lovely, especially against the dark Blackberry Bliss. So I would normally stamp a greeting on there. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to use this card for yet. So I can get it to this point in time and then not glue this in, but keep it with it so that when I want to do the greeting, I can either use my Stamparatus or make sure it's really straight. Once it's glued in there, it has to be perfectly straight. So normally I would finish it all together, but yeah, I don't know what I'm going to use that for. So now I've got two. So I've got one that has the white card base, and one using the Blackberry Bliss. I think this one's my favourite, the darker one, especially with the wink of Stella all over it. But anyway, I hope you like this card. It's relatively quick and easy to do, as I said. If you wanted to churn these out, you could very easily pre-cut all of your pieces, stamp them all, and then just have like a little bit of an assembly line going, and yeah, put them all together. So very quick, very easy, I think very effective. I hope you enjoyed that. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please do give me a thumbs up. You can also subscribe so that anytime I put a YouTube video up, you'll actually get a notification to say that there's a new one ready for you to watch. So that might be a great idea for you to do too. Again, look out for this last chance product sale. It's on until the 3rd of January or until stocks last. And you can shop through my online store at jilllancet.stampinup.net. And again, if you're shopping in December 2021, use this host code if your order is under $250. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next video, and happy crafting, everybody.